Hi, Lightworker, and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is George Lizas. I'm a spiritual teacher, intuitive, the author of Be the Guru and the #1 best-selling Lightworkers Gotta Work. And today I have with me for the third time, Diana Cooper. Diana Cooper's spiritual journey started many years ago with an angelic visitation that transformed her life. She's now the best-selling author of more than 30 books, which have been translated into 28 languages. Diana specializes in esoteric subjects, including angels, unicorns, dragons, and Atlantis. She teaches internationally and is the founder of the Diana Cooper School of White Light, a non-for-profit organization that offers spiritual teaching courses throughout the world. Diana, welcome on my channel. How are you?
Hello, I'm fine, thank you. Enjoying the sunshine we've got today.
Oh my God, we've got some beautiful sunshine here in Cyprus as well, and I can't wait for summer to be here. And I'm so pleased to have you on my channel for the third time to talk about angels. The first time we talked about unicorns, and it was dragons. Now it's angels. And of course, for everybody watching this right now, I'll place all the links in the description below so you can watch the previous episodes with Diana. And we have beautiful meditations as well with meeting your dragon guardian and with having a unicorn shower, essentially. And today we're talking about your new deck, the Archangel Oracle. I'm curious, what was the inspiration? Yes, so beautiful. What was the inspiration behind creating this deck?
I've always worked with the angelic realms. And of course, the links between unicorns, dragons, and archangels is that they're all part of the angelic realms. And so I work with Archangel Metatron and Michael and many, many others all the time. And they just impressed on me that they wanted me to bring them out into the world much more, because as the frequency of the planet has risen, so more and more archangels have come in and started to connect with us. Until fairly recently, the archangels were beyond the realms that we could connect with. Now they're pouring in to help us, and people are literally meeting them on a day-to-day basis. I had a wonderful experience when I was in hospital a few years ago, when literally I had to have a blood transfusion, and they brought it at midnight. And oh my goodness, I thought I'm going to be exhausted. I've got to sit up and bless this blood and thank the donors. And all of a sudden, there was this great fluttering of pure white wings, and Archangel Gabriel came in and sat beside me at the bedside and said, "Go to sleep. I will bless the blood." Whoa! I mean, can you imagine it? It was just awesome. And I've been so, so blessed to have so many of these experiences.
I love that you mentioned all these new archangels coming in, because that's the first thing that I noticed as I was going through this deck. I mean, I'm familiar with the main, I think there are 15 archangels, but you've brought in new energies that I haven't heard of, I haven't worked with before, which is so exciting. And we're going to get into that in just a little bit. But for the people who are just being introduced to the archangels, I want to get the basics in first. So who are the archangels and have they always been around? And I want to share a little story with you. So I've been working with the angels for many years. I've been introduced to them by you and during Virtue in the past. But then over the past 4 years, I've transitioned fully to Greek paganism. And therefore, I work a lot with the pagan gods like Aphrodite and Zeus and all that. And I became a priest to the traditional religion in Greece. I went to Greece and I trained with the organization, etc. And angels have never been part of the ancient Greek tradition, at least not in this term. So I just started feeling very conflicted. I'm like, okay, is everything that I learned about the angels and the archangels wrong? Do I have to let go of those beliefs? And then, but I realized that, you know what, I've had so many transformational experiences with the archangels, I can't just discredit them because a tradition in ancient times did not believe in them. But as I started doing the research into the ancient books, I found out that there was indeed mention of the angels, just in a different term. And the term that the ancient Greeks have used, this is very ironic and paradoxical, it was the term demones, which is translated as demons in English. So essentially what had happened was they believed in beings called like the messengers of the gods called demones, but afterwards as Christianity took over so it could dominate, it just changed the meaning of these words to mean something evil, and it created the evil word of demon that we have today. But essentially it's those beings of light that are messengers to the God and can help us connect with them. So let me come back to my question. Have archangels and angels always been around?
Archangels and angels have always been around, and the Greek gods that you mentioned were all high priests and priestesses in the golden era of Atlantis. And so that then, as they've reincarnated or worked with us from the other side, they have been termed gods. And angels have always been with us. They're just on a different frequency band, and we are aware of angels. They work on a 7th dimensional frequency. The archangels are at a frequency higher, faster, and they work between the 7th and 9th dimension. And so as we've raised our frequency, we can connect with them. There have always been those like Archangel Michael and Gabriel and Metatron that people are very, very familiar with. But now there are just so many new ones that are drawing themselves to our attention, but they've always been there. And in the deck, there is even Lady Gaia, who is a throne that's a level of frequency higher. And the thrones look after all the planets and stars. And of course, she looks after our planet. And then you move up and there are cherubims. There's one cherubim in here. They also look after the stars and planets, but they look after the flow between them. But at last, they are even starting to connect with us. And if a cherubim, there's one cherubim card in the deck, if a cherubim comes to you or you receive that card, it's telling you that you are a light and that you need to let your light be seen and go out into the world and let people feel the angels through you. So the deck is also enabling you to connect with the many, many higher energies that there are.
Yes, that's what I love about it. So you talk about archangels in the deck, you talk about the seraphim, the cherubim, but also some ascended masters as well. Not ascended masters. So it's just these 3 types of the like angel beings. So let's define them. So who actually, are the yes?
The very, very highest frequency, the 12th dimensional seraphim, who hold the vibration of source and send out that energy, the thoughts of source through their chanting. There are 3 of them who have now started to connect with humanity, and they are in the deck too.
Yes.
You talked about new ones. I never particularly worked with Archangel Haniel before, and I've just picked a card at random, and this is the one that came out, and she brings happiness. I just love that. Look at her beautiful turquoise color, and she blows out these bubbles or energies of happiness. When you connect to her, she lightens your heart, and the message is seek soul satisfaction, fan a flame of inner happiness. It's beautiful, isn't it?
Yes.
She just gives you that lift. If you need it, then she'll come to you.
Yes. So essentially you said the seraphim are the highest dimensional, 12th dimensional like archangels as part of the the angel realm. So I have them here in front of me. So we have Seraphisa, we have Seraphina, and we have Seraphia. So how do these higher frequency archangels work with us in a way that's different from like the archangels?
They kind of tend to be more about being, see, here's Seraphina. She luckily jumped out.
Yes.
Now, she works with the intergalactic schools, and she helps you to become an ambassador for Earth. She also helps you to build a bridge to source. And I know in the Orb deck, when we were desperately asking for a seraphim, she came as an orb to us, so to be photographed for the Orb book. amazing, awesome, high frequency beings. So they bless us on earth. They bring the highest possible potential and energies to us, but they're always about service. They're not about, you will be happy today.
Yes.
They are about, come on, you are a mighty being. Look at that great side of you and start to bring it forward.
So they're essentially for people whose purpose is to help the world on a larger scale rather than just solely caring about themselves. That's beautiful. And did you mention Orbs book?
Oh, that was ages and ages ago. It's years
Okay,
ago.
but is there a new one coming out? That's what I want to know. I would love a new Orbs book.
No, I know. Now, I wrote the 2 Orbs books many years ago, and they
Yes.
are fabulous. And they're Orb deck, and I still get the energies of them out and show them because I just think it's so
I love Orbs.
awesome. I love Orbs too.
Okay, so how about the cherubim? How are the cherubim different from the seraphim and archangels?
In the Middle Ages, when a lot of beings came in to demonstrate the Christ light through paintings and art, etc., they literally came in the Renaissance to bring the Christ light back. The cherubim, they sent little energy fragments of themselves out, which were the cherubs, which were seen as babies, pure, innocent babies full of joy, and were depicted in the paintings of that time. And they come in to help us really spread the light and the Christ light into whatever work we do. And so if you get that card, you know that your aim is to be a light and to send that energy out there.
I love that. And you said there's one cherubim card, the lucky card in the deck. How exciting.
Absolutely. I know. It is an amazing card.
Yeah. Okay, my next question has to do with why do the archangels want to communicate with us? I get why we want to communicate with them and to benefit from their beautiful light, but what is the overarching purpose with regards to all these new energies of archangels coming in right now?
I think we have to recognize that Earth is an extraordinary planet. People that have huge courage to incarnate here.
Tell me about it.
Out in the universe, they all say, wow, you've been to Earth. It's so challenging. You've got to look after a physical body. You've got to maintain your connection to source, even though you've gone through the veil of amnesia and can't remember anything about who you truly are. And there are so many challenges presented to us, all to test us. And so people say, wow, you went to Earth. And because Earth is lagging behind in the universe, so the archangels are coming in and many, many other light beings are coming in to help the whole planet move forward. This is why this 20-year period from 2012 to 2032 is the most extraordinary period for spiritual growth, the greatest opportunity that there has ever been in the entire history of the planet. Nobody says it's easy, but my goodness, from a soul perspective, it gives you great opportunities. And the fact that the archangels are here now to help us is extraordinary. And that's why I think the archangels really wanted this deck to come out so that people could connect not only with their assistants, but also it would help their light to grow stronger and they'd help the whole planet.
I love that. And since all these new energies are coming in because it's such an important transitioning point for humanity, does our way that we communicate with the archangels change a little bit? Do we have to do something more or something different to communicate better with them? Essentially, what I'm asking is, what are some practical processes we can use to raise our own vibration to the frequency that we can hear those high vibrational archangels?
Okay. As soon as you think about an angelic being of any description, it is with you. They'll move instantly. But if you want to deepen the connection, then you tune in more. Now, I find for myself that when I'm walking in the woods, then that is a really good time for me to connect. because I'm not thinking about anything else. I'm relaxed. Just close your eyes for a second, George. Okay? Feet firmly on the ground. And then take a deep breath. And be aware of the silver ball of your Earth Star chakra below your feet. And as you sense it, Archangel Sandalphon, the archangel in charge of your Earth Star, is holding it. It's becoming brighter silver. It's becoming bigger, expanding, connecting you deep, deep into the love of Gaia, also lighting up your potential. As it fully grounds you, the energy of that silver ball is being brought by Archangel Sandalphon up and over you until you are in the center of a huge ball of light. And as the frequency comes up, all your chakras are opening to a fifth dimensional frequency. And then open your eyes. How did that feel to you, George?
Oh my, it was the most instant energizing and opening of my chakras that I've ever done. It was so quick. Like normally I have to go through chakra by chakra, clear it, energize it, open it. This was just all my chakras like instantly opening, and I felt my body pulsating. It was so magical.
That is what happens. You are blessed in that you could feel it. But that is what happens anyway. So if you do that and you ask Archangel Sandalphon to bring what is called his fifth dimensional bubble, but is actually your Earth Star chakra, up over you, it opens all your chakras instantly to a fifth dimensional level. And you know what? Not only does it open you up and have an instant access to the higher dimensions, but it's very protective, because if you are in your home at night and you ask Archangel Sandalphon to place his angels round your home and to put a fifth dimensional bubble, bring it up around anybody that comes to your home, perhaps with lower intent, it opens them instantly to the fifth dimension, and that lower intent dissolves. And so you have done something to protect your home, but you also help that person by moving them into the fifth dimension for that instant or two.
Yes.
When
so essentially, you're transmuting the energy as well as protecting yourself, allowing the other person to ascend too. What a powerful tool. Thank you so much for sharing this beautiful meditation with us. And like people watching live right now, or just like watching this as like a video, please let us know in the comments below, how did you feel as a result of doing this short meditation? And since we're talking about the earth and the earth, the earth elementals as well, you mentioned the earth star chakra, and you earlier mentioned about how you connect with your archangels easier when you're out in nature. I'm curious, what's the connection between archangels and other spirit guides, such as the elementals and such as the ascended masters?
Okay, there are two hierarchies, if you like to call it that. That's a horrible word, isn't it?
Yes.
Two pathways. One is the angelic pathway, and the other is the human pathway. And so the elementals, like the fairies and the goblins and all those beings, the nature spirits, they belong to the angelic pathway. Mm-hmm. And so fairies, many fairies are now fifth dimensional. And at the cosmic moment, many of those moved up a dimension and became angels. So everything in the universe is moving towards source again. And so that's the angelic hierarchy. The human hierarchy goes through the rock kingdom, the mineral kingdom, but then it comes into humanity. And when they ascend, then they become ascended masters. And so as you ascend and you move into the inner planes and move higher and higher with your ascension, eventually you become an ascended master. So
It's very,
merely they're just on two different
yes.
rays, if you like.
You know what I find amazing is that all this knowledge, we've known it as a human race, like since the ancient times, but we forget and then relearn it and then forget. Because now that as I told you, I'm into the Greek paganist path. When I looked into the theology of the ancient Greeks, they talked about the exact same thing, that as humans, we first ascend into the demoness part, and then we ascend into the ascended masters sphere as well, like as our soul keeps evolving. It's fascinating, and I love that. And it's great that we now have a tool, the Archangel deck, to help us work with the archangels into following that ascension path. Which brings me to my favorite question. So since you've brought in such beautiful new archangels into this deck, I've just noted 3 of them that I'm interested in, and I was wondering if you can tell us a few words about them. So, Archangel, I hope I pronounce this correctly, Perlimiek.
Perlimiek, yeah.
Yes. Can you please? Yes.
Mm-hmm. I'm just looking to see if he'd come to me. Yes, right. Here we are. Here's Archangel Perlimiek.
Perlimiek, okay.
And you see his beautiful coloring.
Yes.
Now, he is in charge of nature. His name is unusual because he's come in from another universe now to help the planet. There's so much extraordinary like this taking place right now. So he's come in to help the planet. And for example, if you see a tree about to be chopped down and you think, oh no, I'm sure that tree shouldn't be chopped down, ask Archangel Perlimiek and he will send an angel to talk to the person who's chopping the tree down. And very, very often it works and they don't do it. They'll think, maybe I don't need to chop this tree down. It's he works in extraordinary ways. And isn't it interesting? The same times he fell out of the
oh yes, well,
deck.
they're very similar.
This is Archangel Praminelek. Now he is in charge of the insect kingdom.
I love that.
Now, a friend of mine who is not into angels at all, she's very spiritual, but she's not particularly into the angelic realms. She picked a card and she said, I've got the angel of insects. Why on earth would I get that? That is ridiculous, complete rubbish. She thought this was terrible. And then she sat there quite quietly for a moment and she said, this morning there was a little slug on my doorstep. And she said, it literally lifted its head up and said straight to me, what are you going to do with me? And she said, it's all right. I'll take you to the end of the garden. And she took him to the end of the garden, at which point the slug looked at her again and said, as clear as a bell, thank you. And she said, maybe that's why I got the card. Maybe it's telling me that I need to be more in tune with nature and that I can connect with them. And she went off thinking, that's an interesting message. And so every single archangel comes to you at that moment because it's a purpose. You see, I got it the next day and I thought, well, that's not what I need. I'm not been talking to any insects or anything, but the message is be conscientious. And I had to look at my bills that day and I thought, that's my message. Be conscientious, be careful, look at them, not just in my usual fashion. Oh, okay, there's another one, but really look at them. And I did, and I needed to. And I thought, thank you, Archangel Praminelek. You have come at exactly the right moment with your message.
So it's about not seeing them so literally and just allowing ourselves to communicate with us in whichever way makes sense given our current context and circumstances. I think that's an important message because sometimes we think very literally, oh, insects, what do I need to know about insects? But as you said, it's something, and it's a message related to the frequency of that archangel that usually comes in.
Well, you read the guidebook and it'll give you some information.
Yes.
But also, after I'd finished them, I was thinking about attuning to the archangels and what it was all about and how people could read the cards more easily. And I decided to do a little course to help people read the cards. And I did an exercise for each archangel. I did how you could translate what each archangel was about. And then I thought, that's not enough. And Archangel Metatron came in and said, now I want you to record an attunement for each of the 44 archangels.
Wow.
So I sat down and I connected with the archangels and I wrote an attunement for each one. And then before I recorded them, I had to sit there and let the archangel come into me and talk through me. And then I did a 5 to 10 minute recording to attune people to that archangel.
That's exciting. Where can people access the attunements?
It's on my website now.
Perfect. That's a perfect add-on to the deck.
To go with the deck. And it's very, very reasonable price. And so it's actually extraordinary. And Metatron was guiding that every inch of the way. And the response I've had from people, like they can literally connect with the archangels so much more easily. And the suggestion is that either you pick an archangel or you go through the pack. And then that day, if you listen in the morning, you've got that archangel with you, surrounding you all day. And if you listen last thing at night, that archangel is with you while you sleep.
Wow, I think that's a must-have for the deck and connecting with the archangels, just having that attunement to literally tune you into their energy so you can work with them more effectively. Thank you for sharing that with us. And the link will be in the comments below, so that in the description below, so that people can access it. So, and next archangel I'd like to hear more about is Archangel Mallory.
Oh, right. Okay. So the angel of wisdom. Okay. So Archangel Mallory works with Archangel Christiel. She's his twin flame. Now he's in charge of your causal chakra, which is your own personal moon, your divine feminine energy, the entry point to the angelic kingdom. So it's when your causal chakra opens that you can connect to the angelic realms, and most particularly the unicorns.
It makes sense why I'm drawn to them.
Yeah, when your causal chakra is fully open, you can bring unicorns into earth through you. It's absolutely extraordinary. I'm just looking to see if she's going to jump out for me now. And so she is his twin flame. She is the angel of wisdom. And if you get her, oh, no, I can't. She's not just going to jump out for me right now. But if you get her, then you know that you are being guided with higher wisdom at that moment in time.
I love it.
It's beautiful card to get. Here we are. And the message is, remember who you are and take action when you're ready. But it's about remembering who you truly, deeply are.
I love that. So third and final archangel I want to hear about, and these are all archangels I was drawn to, so I'm sure they have a message for me, which I like. As you were talking, I instantly got it. Like as soon as you started talking about Archangel Perlimik, my time went to 222, and I'm like, perfect. There's an archangel to connect with. So the third one is Archangel Jewels.
Oh, Jewels. Well, he's magnificent. He's in charge of the oceans.
Oh, fair enough. Makes sense.
Yeah. He's in charge of the oceans, the name would tell you, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
And so he helps to keep the waters clear. But as I'm sure you know, the Christ light flows through waters. And so he helps to keep the Christ light flowing in the waters of the planet. And let me just see if I can find him in here. Archangel Jewels. His message is, align with the highest, but also go with the flow. And it's telling you that it's the time in your life to make sure that you let your life flow. So ensure that your 12 chakras are open, and ask Archangel Jewels to anchor them into the oceans, which are a vast reservoir of Christ light. So that's kind of really important. You know, you do it one way with Sandalphon, which we did earlier, with dimensional bubble, but another way is to go through the oceans and anchor with Archangel Jewels.
Wow.
Okay. also he's in charge of the Bermuda Triangle, which is where the Great Crystal of Atlantis is. And so part of his guidance is to tune into the Great Crystal of Atlantis, into the wisdom that that holds and how it is anchoring the planet, and tune in to bring back the wisdom and energy of Golden Atlantis.
And could we connect with the energy of Archangel Jewels when we are near the ocean or where we're in the ocean, like especially since summer is coming up?
You can connect to him anytime.
Yes.
Because angels are beyond time and space. But of course, when you're actually in the energy of the ocean, it makes it much easier, and it makes it clearer because you are in the water and that Christ-like energy is flowing around you.
Wow. Diana Cooper, thank you so much for sharing like the magic of the archangels with us. And of course, there are so many other archangels that people can experience and connect with through this deck and through Diana's attunements as well, that you can find on her website. Thank you so much for chatting to me. Again, I'm so excited. It's always a pleasure chatting with you, and I feel so uplifted as a result. And I look forward for our next chat.
Thank you. See you soon.